Gervonta Davis say you need the money.
Shit.
What's going on with you and Gervonta?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
Thank you.
What if Gervonta said, hey, I'll come up to 154. I'll come up to 154 while you talking.
Oh man.
You go to you'll fight Gervonta at 154?
I wish him the best. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Kim. If everybody including win, I mean win. Fuck.
Question for you. Your proud father.
Boxing operates on levels, and Terence "Bud" Crawford just reminded the world exactly which one he dominates. In a newly released live interview, Crawford didn't just throw a little shade at Gervonta Tank Davis, he hurled the whole tree. What started off as a laid-back conversation quickly turned into a no-holds-barred call-out. Crawford didn't mince words when addressing Tank's recent performances, his reputation, and even questioned the legitimacy of his last victory.
Tank said I was a meat lover. He came in like, oh, this guy, you a meat lover.
But Tank would never even think about hesitating to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Y'all was doing the back and forth shit. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. I don't like.
It's not your cup of tea. That's just not.
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. No, I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. Like he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, he in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
I respect him as a fighter.
Yeah,
he definitely got skills. He got power. He got tremendous boxing ability, but like his core personality and his ways, nah.
So, Tank, if you're watching, the spotlight's on you. Crawford just put your name in bold. You've been called out. If you're tired of the soft matchups and want to see Tank finally face a real one, like Crawford, hit that like button. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who takes it, Crawford or Tank? And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're covering every jab, every headline, every twist in the wild world of boxing.
You said going out on 3 fights. You know the last 2 fights you want to go out on? Yeah, this the last fight. The last fight you want to go out on. Like, who? Do you have anybody in mind? No, I'm saying no. I don't have my name right now. But I got somebody I want to call out after this fight. You said you got somebody you want to call out after this fight? Yeah. Who is that? I'm not gonna tell you.
Is it Lomachenko? Somebody asked Lomachenko. All right.
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that? Oh, Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. I need 3 now. Yeah. Steven Espinoza said Shakur turned down a 1-fight deal to fight you because he wanted a multi-fight deal. What's your thoughts on that? No, worth it. No, worth it. He's not even worth it. I ain't gonna got to fight somewhere else and prove himself, and then like, you know how they got UFC and like the underground shit? You gotta fight on the underground shit and get that.
You gotta go to the V-League.
You have an idea which.
Maybe that familiarity is the reason. Maybe Tank knows who could beat him, and that's why he's playing it safe. Meanwhile, Crawford is open to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. This interview wasn't just a jab at Tank, it was a wake-up call to the sport. Crawford showed us what a real champion sounds like. No ducking, no hiding, no sugar-coated wins. He wants the best, and he wants it now.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147
Ooh, see, oh man.
You're gonna have a pre-cap.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
Crawford pointed out that Tank, Ryan, Devin, and Shocker have been circling each other since the amateur days. They've studied each other. They know who's got whose number. So why aren't they clashing? While Crawford is calling for real competition, Tank seems more focused on exhibitions, social media buzz, and questionable wins. The contrast is obvious, and Crawford said it loud these guys all know each other. Sounds harmless, but there's a deeper message.
Let me ask you this. You can help me out on this. This last fight, Roach and Gervonta. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Man.
I mean, you can't take a knee. That's a knockdown. Whether because I saw Floyd break his hand hitting the guy and took a knee, and they gave Floyd an 8 count. So I'm trying to figure out how Gervonta avoided that, and then I'm trying to figure out how he got his guy come up to the top of the ring and wipe grease out his eyes. They do that now, bud.
I guess that's part of the new, you know what I mean, boxing era.
When you saw that, tell me when you saw this, you saw him take a knee.
There's a logjam of elite fighters, but barely any real matchups. Everyone's playing it safe, thinking long-term. Meanwhile, the fans are starving for action. Crawford brought up Saudi Arabia. Massive purses and the chance to finally make. These fights happen. He's ready to travel, take risks, make history. But will Tank step up?
And then you see he go to the apron and this guy come up to the top of the ring. Well, he's like, hold on, what's going on?
I'm just as confused as you. I said, huh? I was just like, oh, that's crazy. And Steve Willis, a great referee.
He is.
And he started counting, then stopped
it.
Like, they said, hey, you better stop counting. Wow. They don't do that again.
Then Crawford dropped a layered observation. Some fighters weigh in at 130 and rehydrate to 165. He didn't name names, but everyone knew who he meant. His point, boxing today has too many loopholes, and Tank might be a prime example.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
According to Crawford, if all these top-tier names retire undefeated without facing each other, it'll be the biggest stain on this generation of boxing. The best should fight the best. And Crawford even admitted, I'm not going to be the only one walking around with a loss. That's real coming from someone who values competition over clout. So if Tank's avoiding tough fights to protect his record, Crawford's already outpacing him in both skill and mentality. When discussing Tank versus Ryan Garcia, Crawford gave a fair take. Tank may have been in the right, but the rehydration clause definitely impacted Ryan's performance. One of the most talked about moments in the interview came when Crawford questioned why the top fighters aren't squaring off. He name-dropped Teofimo, Lomachenko, Shocker, Tank, Garcia, Haney, a dream lineup that's gone nowhere. He blamed it on one thing: politics.
How is this not a knockdown? Tank Davis was just exposed, man. What is going on in the sport of boxing, man? KDB Sports and Entertainment.
I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that.
But Crawford made it crystal clear, this is an amateur R. The pro game hits harder. If Tank thinks he can coast on reputation, he's got another thing coming.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think the draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes, he's like, points should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
That night, I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. Look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, that, he should be disqualified.
Adding another layer, Tank and Roach go way back to their amateur days in the DMV. That history may have led Tank to underestimate him.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hand motherfucker.
Letting that moment slide shifted the entire energy of the fight. And let's be real, it may have preserved Tank's unbeaten streak.
And Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas. He's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you understand? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach, because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
And Crawford wasn't the only one saying it. Big names like Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya echo the same sentiment online. That was a knockdown, no question.
Tank would never even think about to come up to 154.
All right, what about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Because I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like,
it's not your cup of tea. That's just not.
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways, nah.
From the opening bell, Roach brought the heat pressure, precision, and no fear. The guy pegged as an easy warm-up gave Tank one of the toughest challenges of his career. That 9th round, it had fans on the edge of their seats. When Tank dropped to a knee after a sharp combo, it wasn't a slip, it was a tactical collapse, a clear knockdown.
I think all of them should fight, you know.
I mean, you got Lopez, Teofimo, you got Lomachenko, you got Shakur, you got Tank, you got Garcia. You got 5 guys. That's a nice little
Devin
Haney, yeah. You got 6 guys. Don't nobody want to fight nobody?
I don't know. I think they all should, you know, be fighting each other.
Well, so what we got going on?
Politics.
Bro, if Shakur and Haney and Tank, if all them leave, if they retire with undefeated records, that's some bullshit. That's some straight up, and you know it too, bud. Ain't no way those guys should have undefeated records. If they're out in their prime and they damn near in the same, no, ain't no way.
Most people expected Gervontadavis to steamroll Roach, just another knockout, another flex. But Roach flipped the narrative.
Ryan Garcia and Tank, they talk about they might fight again, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot made about this rehydration clause. You don't have that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think you have this in this one. So theoretically, he's supposed to come in at 168. Night of the fight, he might be 180, 185. You cool with that? I had sat down with Oscar, and Oscar said he think the rehydration clause had a lot to do with why Ryan didn't defeat Gervonta. What do you think?
I think 2 things. I'm gonna say 3 things. I think Ryan had an injury already previous in training. I think the way he did have an effect on him, because when you see him with Devin, he was totally different.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean, fighters.
Crawford laid it out bluntly. Without that missed knockdown, Tank wouldn't have won. He actually gave the edge to Roach, a bold statement from a fellow elite fighter. It proves one thing: Crawford's not here to protect egos. Tank, in his view, was overconfident, underestimated Roach, and nearly paid the price.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
No, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining the catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
He pointed to the moment Tank took a knee, something that should have been scored as a knockdown, and questioned how the officials let it slide. He also mentioned a bizarre scene where Tank's corner entered the ring mid-fight to wipe grease from his eyes. That's not just odd, it's a violation of procedure, and Crawford made sure viewers knew it. He even took aim at the referee, Steve Willis, noting how he began a count and then suddenly stopped, as if someone behind the scenes intervened. This wasn't just post-fight critique, it sounded like a call-out on corruption.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
Then things heated up even more. Crawford didn't just critique Tank's track record, he broke down his last fight like a surgeon. When asked about the Roach bout, Crawford didn't hold back.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who
I
might
keep
be
saying his
afraid?
name for.
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of something, it gotta be somebody hitting us and hurting us. Like, he don't have no offense. Everything is defense. The defense only winning basketball and football. That shit in boxing.
Crawford is undefeated for a reason. He knows his value and isn't wasting time on fantasy fights against guys who barely scraped by Lamont Roach.
So they know each other so
yeah, they all know each other so well. Shakur, Tank, Ryan, you know, Devin, they all know each other, you know.
So is it hard to fight somebody you know?
No, I'm just saying they all know each other. So they know, you know, how to fight each other, how to beat each other and things like that because they didn't fought each other so many times.
What do you think about the Devin Haney and the Ryan Garcia fight?
Things got real when the host brought up Tank's claim that Crawford was in it for the money. Crawford's face said it all then. He fired back. We all need the money. I'm not doing this for free. This wasn't just about cash, it was about calling out hypocrisy. After all, neither of them are billionaires. They're both prize fighters chasing legacy and a paycheck, but the jabs didn't stop there. When asked how he'd feel about Tank moving up to 150 to face him, Crawford coolly replied, "I wish him the best." It wasn't encouragement, it was dismissal. Translation: